double figures. They will be on the floor a ton. They'll go 6 and maybe 7 deep. We'll see, a little bit of Elijah Carey, but in particular, you're going to see the main 6 most of the night for Manhattan. For Fairfield and Coach Casey, it's going to depend who's playing well.
No doubt about it. He's not afraid to mix things up, so they're still trying to figure out leadership roles on this squad. 8 scholarships available in the offseason as they fire from the corner and hit, and one of those key pieces, Bleachmore from Sydney, the St. Joe's transfer, able to knock down the Triple R officials in this one, Greg Evans, Rob Riley, Tommy Deneen, and we'll see the Jaspers on offense now for the first time.
Well, one thing you're going to see tonight is some decent big guys can step out, face the basket, and shoot the 3 on both squads. Bleachmore there at 41% on the season from 3. And here comes Fairfield.
A stumble there. Stags opportunistic, but coming right back to get that basketball, Sidnor. So the Jaspers cough it up. They take it right back. Manhattan in at 8-8 on the year, 3-4 in league play. They've already surpassed last year's win total, so John Gallagher in year 2 trending in the right direction. Shot clock to 10. Gilliard goes to work. Timer now to 6 as they restart from out high. Winston running short on time. He's got to go. They're out of time. Robinson gets it away off the front rim, somehow finding a lane for that shot with time expiring.
Well, Coach Casey talked about Fairfield needing to make plays with the shot clock running down, that time on the defensive end, and able to attack inside, and they got themselves an early 5-0 lead.
It's all Bleachmore, the layup on the interior. Pretty regular part of the rotation and the starting lineup last year, 26 starts a season ago, and a 1,000-point score when you add up his time at St. Joe's, and now here at Fairfield, there's a bump on the perimeter. That'll go against Peyton Smith. And here's a look at Coach Casey. Year 2, leading Fairfield, was an assistant, stepping in as the head coach after 4 years as the assistant, and knows this league well, former head man at Niagara, so he is quite familiar, Dave, with the MAC.
And a terrific player. Last year, 24 wins, made it to the championship game of the MAC tournament.
Bender, the step back, that's pure. And Manhattan's on the board, courtesy of Shaq Bender.
Well, that's Manhattan basketball. They're able to move it around, get everybody involved. All 5 guys can score. All 5 guys can shoot it.
Smith lost his footing with the dive to the basket. It results in this 3-point look. That's too strong, and able to corral the rebound, Robinson. Jasper's now looking to go. Sidnor stepping back and burying the 3-pointer. Jasper's in front now, 6-5.
Oh, that's just a terrific look from the freshman. Coach Gallagher and many people in the MAC opening their eyes at potential rookie of the year, and he just saw early on his ability to handle the ball and shoot it from downtown.
Yeah, certainly a favorite for some postseason honors. Bleachmore coming up with air after the 5 quick points to start. In transition, Robinson thought about it. This Stags team 7-11, 3-4 in league play, so a bit of a drop-off after that epic run last year. They lost to St. Peter's in the MAC championship, went on to the CBI, where they had a couple of wins before falling to Seattle. As Manhattan adding to their lead, Robinson on the step back. It's an 8-5 lead.
Well, game of runs. Fairfield comes out and scores the first 5 points, and then Manhattan answers with 8 straight of their own and built themselves a 3-point lead.
Fairfield can't answer. That 3-ball way wide. A battle under the bucket. It leads to this. All net from the corner. That's Bleachmore cashing in from the outside, and he's done it all 8 points. It's Bleachmore 8, Manhattan 8.
Well, Coach Casey talked about hitting the offensive glass, making plays. Manhattan, a good rebounding team, but not an excellent rebounding team, and create some extra opportunities, especially when you're on the road here with second chance points.
Timer to 10. Bender to the lane, takes the bump. They'll say no. Keep it on the floor. That's a foul on the floor. Wave off the basket, and we've reached the under 16 timeout. Coach said it best, a game of runs. Stags surging, Manhattan battling back, and we're all tied up at 8. We'll step aside and return to the Bronx after this.
Ring, make it ring, girl, make it. Apartment 2B?
2B. She's definitely using that Grubhub deal from Amazon.
Oh, yeah.
Amazon Prime member? You can get $0 delivery fees on Grubhub. Eligible orders only. Terms and additional fees apply.
Touches of black. They say a lot without having to say much. They stand for elegance, refinement, and prestige. Even a little can go a long way. And though they're darker than the darkest night, they make you see everything in a new light. The Kia X-Line Nightfall Collection.
Kia. Movement that inspires.
Burger King has a deal for all. $5 duo answers hunger's call. $7 trio, more options for y'all. Which one will you choose? At BK, have it your way.
Looking to get stronger? This is your year. Join Planet Fitness today for just $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
We're gonna feel this tomorrow.
I'm doing it my way, on my time.
We're just gonna keep showing up. Showing up.
Showing up.
You coming?
Join the club today. Save $28 or more when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends January 31st. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Looking live here at the Manhattan Jasper Huddle, the man in the middle of that scene, John Gallagher, year 2, coming over from Hartford. And as we told you earlier, already has the Jaspers ahead of their win total. We talked to him pregame. He likes the progress they're making. These are some of his keys, Dave.
Yeah, well, he talked about coming over from Hartford and American East was a league that you can grind it out. Here in the MAC, you got to be able to put the ball in the basket. His point was like, hey, we need to get to 70 every night. In fact, tonight, the belief, the first team to get to 70 wins this game. And you're in MAC play. There's both teams are 3 and 4. You got to defend your home turf.
And then for the Stags.
So, Coach Casey talked about defending that perimeter. In fact, the little run that Manhattan went on was a couple threes. So I'm sure he addressed that with his squad here in this first media timeout. And then we talked about it early on already, closing out possessions. They were able to get that one stop with the shot clock running down, but he found themselves on the losing end a lot this year of team scoring with the shot clock running down. Finish the possessions out.
Baseline inbound, and they'll regroup. When you have so many new guys coming together, how challenging is it to get the defensive pieces to gel for a full shot clock, for a full game?
Yeah, well, I mean, you talk about Fairfield, and we said the year they had last year, 24 wins, conference championship game, but they were seriously hurt by the transfer portal, lost 3 key players. So you're rebuilding, and you're building that back up, and that takes some time. And, for Coach Gallagher, you look at, they're on his second year as well, and I think if you look around the league and you think about that, they're probably a little ahead of schedule. I mean, come out last year, 7 wins, and this year already surpassed that, and maybe a little bit past halfway through the league. So, I think you're a Manhattan Jasper fan right now, you're looking at Coach Gallagher, as I mentioned, ahead of schedule and exciting things to come.
Yeah, 10th in the MAC preseason poll. Take that for what it's worth. But right in the thick of things here, could easily find their way in the upper echelon of these standings. As that shot through the 5-hole, and Fairfield takes it away. How about the handles on Johnson? The drive, the kick, 3-ball, just circling the rim, and a tussle down low. And a foul there. Peyton Smith, the sophomore from Hudson Falls, New York, not afraid to mix it up. 6'10", 235. Putting his nose in there to try and get that ball back.
Both teams, typical MAC teams, athletic, big, strong, can rebound, can run, can play, can get up and down. You have 6'3" to 6'5" players that can just do a little bit of everything. As you see, Bergen steps out. The lefty knocks one down.
So the 3-ball has been the key here early on. An 11-8 lead for Fairfield. Manhattan's knocked down 2 triples. Fairfield has 3 of them. Here's a nice look to the bucket. All good for Wes Robinson.
And a terrific look from the freshman, Will Sidnor, at 6'8". Only a freshman, just very comfortable facing the basket, handling the ball.
Pull up in traffic for Bergen's not there. Second effort is, and Fairfield sticking with it and cashing in. That's Prophet Johnson.
We talked about hitting the offensive glass for Fairfield. That second and third chance opportunities are key. That's what's allowed them to build a 3-point lead.
Bender had a triple earlier, thought about it again. Jaspers probing that defense. Good drive and kick. Bender gets his own rebound and puts it home.
That was a la Moses Malone. Throw it up. Go get it. Build your offensive rebounding stats. Get the easy two.
Fairfield cannot respond with the 3-ball, and now the Jaspers look to break. Coming up on the 14-minute mark here. First half, good back-and-forth action. 1-point lead for Fairfield. Robinson changing that right down Main Street for 2. Wasting no time now. Johnson in transition. The mid-range is all good.
Well, one thing we see here early, Greg, is both teams can get up and down, and both teams have the ability to put the ball in the basket.
Dave, they heard the memo. Get to 70. We're seeing the up and down action here. Jaspers, like Fairfield, lost a lot of key personnel into the transfer portal, so also a bit of a new look roster here. Bender, one of those key guys back for John Gallagher. So we'll see Swish Gilliard return. But then also without the services of the freshman from Melbourne, Australia, Fraser Roxborough, his 6th straight game out tonight. Expect to have him back in the next couple of weeks here. They really like what he's added to the team. So when he's back healthy, that gives them that really solid 7 to 8 man look.
Yeah, and that's key as you go through a long season. That 6th man deep and a 7th that plays, single-digit minutes. You're talking if you get some foul trouble later on, you could be in trouble. Little injuries and the nicks and the bangs and the bruises from the season. That extra guy is key.
Turnover and then a tip away. So the Jaspers cough it up on the other end, and then Winston trying to make the case that it was last touch off of Fairfield. Referee not buying it, of course. That was Manhattan's 3rd turnover. And here's Deion Perry, a junior, transfer from Loyola, Maryland, has come on, as has Barima Sek, a University of New Mexico transfer. He'll now go to work. The drive and kick back to Bleachmore. He was hot early, back off the bench, taking a breather. Long there. Well, nice idea there, trying to fire a pass down low. Jaden Winston, just a missed connection as Bender returns. Talked about the transfer portal for Fairfield. Bryson Godine off to Oklahoma. Jalen Leach, Northwestern. Jasper Floyd, North Texas. These guys left, Dave, but they're also making an impact on these, in some cases, high major programs.
Yeah, and you think about it, 24 wins for Fairfield last year in the championship game, and those 3 players making an impact at their new places, and in many of those cases, some high-level programs. But, so you can credit Coach Casey and this squad for coming back. They're right in the thick of things here in the MAC again and still trying to find their way. Speaking about finding his way, Wes Robinson, a little jump hook along the baseline there.
Pace continues to stay quick in this one, 17-16. Fairfield now. Seesaw battle in the first, under 12 to go. Turn and face chance here for Johnson. And it's all Wes Robinson. Robinson will take it himself. Robinson, step back 3. A little short. If you think about the Jaspers a couple of years ago, they were more of a back-to-the-basket team with some of their bigs. They've really adopted that multi-positional look. Everyone can play seemingly everywhere. Floater from Bergens. Perry steps into a clean 3. And it comes right back to Sek, and that was 2 Jaspers not realizing they were going for the basketball at the same time. Sek the beneficiary, and he's able to draw a trip to the free throw line.
Well, loose ball play. Fairfield the beneficiary. In fact, Sek the beneficiary. He gets fouled. He's going to shoot 2.
And we'll step aside. 17-16 the score right now. Fairfield will take a timeout.
At Manhattan University, you'll develop industry-relevant skills supported by distinguished faculty in more than 100 fields of study, with mentorship from accomplished alumni who connect you to opportunity. you'll immerse yourself in the financial and cultural center of the world and build a life of purpose on our vibrant New York City campus in Riverdale. Discover who you're meant to be at Manhattan University.
Anchored in a region that stretches across vibrant cities and historic landscapes, our institutions are driven by a commitment to academic and athletic excellence. Our student athletes are not only champions through competition and in the classroom, they are lending a helping hand to build a better tomorrow. Join us in shaping a brighter future in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference.
A series that dates back to the 50s. 1954, that first meeting. High-scoring affair for the 50s. Manhattan leading the all-time series, 60-56. We mentioned the great season that the Stags had a year ago. They swept against the Jaspers. But two squads, two schools, two programs with a lot of shared history.
Yeah, both of these teams long-term members of the MAC Conference. So many great meetings over time. And we talked about today's game, the first team to 70 might win. That one was the first team to 80.
$11:10 to play in the first half. 17-16 free throws coming up. I know you were in this gym as a coach. Did you play in this gym once upon a time?
I had never as a player, but as an assistant coach, we played back here in the fall of '96. Fran Fischel was the coach.
Okay.
Very good Manhattan teams. We were a very good Mama team. We lost in the championship game that year to LIU. And I believe Manhattan might have went on, either won the regular season title or was it maybe the year after they won and played in the NCAA tournament.
Dave Calloway, Greg Meskel here with you. Is that the Richie Parker LIU? The super high scoring Blackbirds?
Charles Jones.
Charles Jones, yes. Good look. Robinson spotted by Elijah Curry, who just came on.
Wesley ROBINSON, we're tied at 18.
Elijah Curry, true freshman from Memphis, played his high school ball in Camden in South Jersey. Here's Johnson. Gets it back and makes it count. Prophet Johnson drills that triple from distance.
And not his strength, not a great three-point shooter, but Johnson hits his first one from downtown, his first points of the night.
Meanwhile, the kick, and Dinkins, a foul down low. It'll stay right here. They'll call it against Sek and Fairfield. Prophet Johnson came into tonight just 5 for 29 from the three-point line, so a big make for him. And you see Sek there, just with the right hand, had a fistful of the jersey of Gilliard. Easy call there for the official.
Yeah, haven't been a lot of foul calls, only really 2 free throws on the night.
Robinson, short, and Sek is there. Here's Johnson now. Halfway through this first half, each team has made a little surge. Fairfield reliant on the three early. That's their 11th triple try. They're now 4 for 11 from beyond the arc. Dinkins can't find the touch, but you know who can? It's Elijah Curry down low, counted and one.
Yeah, and Elijah Curry will play probably the least amount of minutes of the 7 Jaspers who will see time tonight. Working down low. That's off the ball screen and the switch, so he goes inside the smaller Dion Perry from the Stags, unable to block him out. Easy three-point play. Well, basket and a chance for the three-point play here for number 6, Curry.
Jaspers with the edge early on the offensive glass. Their 7th offensive rebound, and Curry does wrap up the three-point play.
The old-fashioned way there.
Yep.
Manhattan, an excellent free throw shooting team.
21 all here. So no one's really taking control of this game. We've seen each side make a little push. Fairfield had that good start. Jaspers answered right back with an 8-0 run, and then it's just been back and forth. Here's Bergens. Looking backdoor, Johnson. Good cut to the hoop. How did that not go down? Just rolls off the rim.
Yeah, that's one I think Johnson would like to get back. He would usually finish just a little strong off the backboard.
Here's Bender now. Good drive. Thought he might have been better served to take that one himself. Unselfish, and Fairfield comes up with it. Little drive and kick for Johnson. Can't get the roll there, but Bleachmore's on the scene, and he's into double figures. He's got 10.
Well, the three in transition, Greg, is by far one of the two easiest ways to knock down threes. The other thing it does is it allows your big men to get into position for offensive rebounds, and as you just mentioned, easy foul for Bleachmore.
Yeah, he's been aggressive. Already over his scoring average, comes in a little under 8 points per game. He's got 10. That pass off the mark. Now we'll see Michael Rogan, a redshirt sophomore from Saratoga Springs, New York, come on. So this is the contrasting styles, as similar as these teams are. We talked about it with some of their go-to players, some of the numbers. Fairfield will go deeper into that bench. They'll throw more guys at you. Manhattan, we know we're almost certainly going to see roughly 7, maybe 8 guys tonight.
Yeah, well, we talked a little bit. Coach Gallagher kind of knows what his team's about. He has his players. He knows he's going to run with these guys the rest of the season. Coach Casey's still trying to figure it out. And why don't you come back and join us as we try to figure out this one. Fairfield with a 2-point lead.
Looking to get stronger? Join Planet Fitness today.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
We're gonna feel this tomorrow.
You coming?
Save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends January 31st.
Touches of black. They say a lot without having to say much. They stand for elegance, refinement, and prestige. Even a little can go a long way. And though they're darker than the darkest night, they make you see everything in a new light. The Kia X-Line Nightfall Collection.
Kia, movement that inspires.
For weight loss made to last, start with what's new at Weight Watchers. Now with access to GLP-1s and registered dietitians, plus 150 new 0-point foods. For your best results ever, sign up now at WeightWatchers.com.
BK melts. Wanna warm up? This sure helps. Classic bacon, shroom, and Swiss. BK melt season is tasty bliss. BK, have it your way.
You know what's smart? Enjoying a fresh gourmet meal at home that you didn't have to cook. Upgrade your plate with Factor. Chef crafted, dietitian approved, ready in 2 minutes. Eat smart with Factor.
When you pair the new U.S. Bank Smartly Visa Signature Card with a U.S. Bank Smartly Savings Account, you can earn up to 4% cash back on every purchase.
You're trying to elude me, Mr. Falcon, but I will find you.
You're really going all out, huh?
Shh. Getting cash back on all of this.
I'm coming over.
No matter what you buy, earn more smartly with the U.S. Bank Smartly Visa Signature Card.
23-21, Fairfield leading Manhattan. First half action here in the Bronx in this league meeting. As we look at some of the numbers that define these two squads, Manhattan, they can score it. They score it as good as anyone does in the league. Of course, you see right there, Dave, the challenge. They're also giving up more than they're scoring. And then Fairfield, a little bit more of a defensive-minded team in comparison.
Well, if you talk pure offense here, Greg, you know, we talked, Coach Gallagher talked before the game as well, and we even made it a key that, you know, first team to 70. got a chance to win this game, and really offensively, did fairly even game. Both teams with 9 field goals, both teams with a free throw. The difference is Fairfield has 4 threes, and Manhattan only has 2. Hence, two-point lead for Fairfield. Now with that free throw, a 3-point lead.
So here's Sek. Not a big scorer for this team, but Barima Sek getting an opportunity here.
Fairfield picking up a little full court token zone defense, and it looks like they'll fall back into man.
Here's Gilliard, and now Sidnor. Shot clock to 5. Sidner working on Sek, goes right down the lane with the right and cannot convert as the shot clock was about to expire.
A great take by Sidner, just a little bit better defense. Fairfield's got a chance to build on the 4-point lead.
Bergens now. Transfer from Drexel in Philadelphia. Inside, Bleachmore looking to bang and goes right to work, finishing with the left. He's been assertive from the jump. 27-21. This is the largest lead of the night for Fairfield at 6. Dinkins working on a double team. Driving, Gilliard has that one stripped, but he's fouled. Swish Gilliard getting the step, but then drawing the foul with 7 on the shot clock.
A quick take, athletic move, able to get into the lane, and we featured himself along with Prophet Johnson as the feature players, and we called them both the typical MAC type player, 6'3", athletic, can defend, but can shoot the ball a little bit when they get hot. In particular, can be streaky, but the ability to get to the rim and finish and get to the free throw line and knock down your free throws. It adds up to in the point column, kind of pad your stats a little bit.
Here's Gilliard. Strong on the second. Gallagher has raved about what he has brought to this Jaspers team. He's such a positive guy in general. Makes you feel good about everyone on his team, but really excited about a lot of the guys you see on the court right now. Sek goes up and under. Gilliard takes a spill. Dangerous outlet pass. Here comes Winston. Fairfield does a nice job recovering there. Winston turns that corner. And Sek. He's finding himself involved in a lot of the action here in the first half. Bergens transition 3, well off the mark. Sek there again, another rebound. Under 6 to play. Here's Rogan. Perry breaks free. Not there, so now 4 for 14. They are not one of the leaders in the MAC in three-point percentage coming in. 10th in three-point percentage. And then 9th in three-pointers made, as here's the run out. No need for a triple there. It's an easy 2 for Deion Perry on the break. A 29-22 lead for Fairfield.
Yeah, they're biggest of the game and really getting it done on the defensive side. Been able to get some stops. And the turnover, an easy run out there.
Bender now looking for a lane. And able to bury that shot. Shaq Bender steps into a jumper with changes coming on both sides. And he's able to knock down the shot there. And right now you look at Manhattan's scoring and it's been largely Bender and Robinson. 7 from Bender, 10 from Robinson. But we know from the stats this is a balanced team. When they're doing things well, they've got 5 guys that average double figures. John Gallagher likes to see the ball spread around, get more guys in the mix.
Yeah, and so it's the ability to try to be consistently, to be able to put the ball in the basket and score. And you look at Manhattan as the top scoring team in the league, no surprise. You have 5 player is averaging double figures, so a different guy can do it each night. And actually, you just look at this last couple possessions, Fairfield was able to build up a 7-point lead by getting some stops. So what happens is Bender is able to step up and finally knock one down for the Jaspers to end the scoring drought.
We get a look here at what those 5 in double figures are able to do. And of course, it's led by Will Sidnor. Oddly enough, he didn't score last time out. A rare 0 for him. Just 3 points to start right now. 1 for 3. As we mentioned, they've gone to Robinson and Bender. But this is what has made Manhattan so dangerous. Yes, they are reliant on a smaller group of guys, but those guys are pretty talented.
Yeah, and well, you talk about Robinson and Bender. They are the seniors, right? So Will Sidner's had a tremendous rookie season so far, potential rookie of the year in the MAC. But as the league wears down, sometimes that grind is they're going to get a moving pick here on Fairfield. Maybe Munkati moving a little bit too much. It'll hold yourself. But you have seniors that are stepping up. As the year goes on, they understand the grind a little bit more. Sometimes freshmen tend to be a little inconsistent as you start getting into the end of January and February conference play.
Munkati just coming on and picking up the moving screen foul, and now Bender. And he's long from distance. And the rebound, and here comes Fairfield. Braden Sparks back in. Bleachmore letting it fly. Bleachmore having himself a night right now. Oh, excuse me, that's Kyle Jenkins. Bleachmore fans, hold your applause.
Kyle Jenkins fans, we apologize, but both are playing well.
Jenkins able to hit. And there's Jenkins grabbing the rebound. So here's Perry. Sparks now. Perry. Little Euro. And right there, but it's just off the rim. And now we're headed to a timeout with 3:38 to play. Fairfield stays in command, 32-24. This is their largest lead at 8. We'll return after this timeout.
At Manhattan University, you'll develop industry-relevant skills supported by distinguished faculty in more than 100 fields of study. With mentorship from accomplished alumni who connect you to opportunity, you'll immerse yourself in the financial and cultural center of the world and build a life of purpose on our vibrant New York City campus in Riverdale. Discover who you're meant to be at Manhattan University.
Jersey Mike's freshly slices it right in front of you. The authentic Jersey way. You can't fake that. And look, you can fake a lot of stuff these days. You can fake my outfit, but you can't fake freshly sliced turkey. You can fake these haunches, but you can't fake freshly sizzled bacon. Nay, you just can't fake a freshly sliced Jersey sub. It's nice to be back in my real body. Number 13, please. Made the authentic Jersey way since 1956. It's a Jersey Mike's thing. A sub above.
This is a story about strength. It wakes up early in the morning, stays up late, moves mountains, and travels the world. It makes adventure and hard work possible. Strength delivers food to tables, packages to doorsteps, products to stores, and kids to practice. It shows up everywhere you show up. Hercules tires are built for almost every driver and every vehicle. Find the right Hercules for your story and let our strength drive yours.
Welcome back to the Bronx, 32-24. Fairfield in front, spreading it around on offense. They've got 9 from Prophet Johnson, 8 from Lewis Bleachmore. Kyle Jenkins coming on with 7 points. And then Bergens and Seck also adding 3. Perry with a couple. For Manhattan, some familiar names. Wesley Robinson with 10, Shaq Bender with 7. And then have not gotten some of the other guys engaged, but still early in this one. John Gallagher told us we had the best practice of the season yesterday. Will that mean anything tonight? Who knows? but he was excited coming off of the work in the gym yesterday.
Well, usually good practices lead to good performances consistently throughout a season. And the game is, basketball is so full of runs.
Dinkins on the drive. Leaning in, draws the contact. And Dinkins will earn a trip to the free throw line.
That was called number 4. Braden Sparks. His first of the team.
That's against Sparks.
2 shots for Kevin Dinkins.
Haven't seen a ton of free throws tonight. This is just the 4th and 5th free throws coming up for Manhattan. Dinkins good on the first.
Number 16, Prophet Johnson.
Johnson returning, as is Bergens.
Check in Fairfield's lineup.
It's been a fairly clean game, Greg. Not a lot of free throws. Manhattan with 7 turnovers to Fairfield only 2. And probably really the big difference in that 6-point lead for Fairfield. They're just doing a little bit better job taking care of the ball.
32-26 now. Little weave here, Perry. Moncati trying to hold position. Shot clock to 8. Drive and kick for Jenkins. Just rattles out, and Bender's there. Sidnor. He's due to get going here. Shot clock to 10 for Bender. Jasper's having a tough time penetrating this Fairfield defense. Drive and kick here, and they'll say out of bounds. That Jaden Winston stepped on the out of bounds line before he made that drive baseline.
Well, I think back to our conversation with Coach Casey before the game. He talked about finishing out possessions, especially on the defensive end, so much throughout the season. Right there, that ends up being a basket by the other team, and they've had a couple possessions they've been able to finish out to the end, and almost a turnover.
Near strip, and now it is a takeaway. The push ahead, Winston, the easy 2. And Bender came up limping. Shaq Bender reaching for that basketball, and John Gallagher will help him off the court. Kind of an awkward lunge for that ball, as it was a pass up for grabs. Bender went after it. Was able to tip it ahead for the layup.
And that's something you want to take a look at there. Be careful. Manhattan, not a very deep team, as we talked about. Cannot afford injuries.
On number 2, Jaden Winston. First on Winston.
Foul there against Winston. So training staff will visit with Bender. Hopefully nothing too serious. 2:03 to play in this first half. 32-28. Fairfield in the lead. Jasper's chipping away. Perry, drive and strip to the last second. Dangerous save. Comes right back to Fairfield, but then Perry can't hang on the outlet. A little too hot from Peyton Smith.
Well, we just talked about turnovers. Manhattan had 7 to Fairfield's 2, and now last 2 possessions, Fairfield turns the ball over. One was for an easy run out. Now Manhattan has a chance to cut into that now 4-point lead by Fairfield.
Robinson buries it, cutting into that lead indeed. It's now a 1-point game, 32-31, courtesy of Wes Robinson.
Yeah, 5 points off those last 2 turnovers. That's allowed Manhattan right back in this game.
Here's Johnson. Draws a crowd, it's Perry. Just rattles out. And Jenkins cannot hang on. The ball back to Manhattan, and they've got a chance to go in front.
Well, off the turnover. You want to get the crowd back into it, make some plays. Defense to offense in transition, that time off the turnover and the 3.
Coming up on 1 minute to go here in the first half. Manhattan last led at 14-13. Not this time. That was way back at around the under 14 mark. Perry steps into a 3, feeling it and hitting it. Dion Perry cashing from the outside.
And almost probably a 2-for-1 opportunity there for Fairfield as Perry comes down and knocks down that three. Builds a 4-point lead and will allow Fairfield to potentially get the last shot of the half.
Robinson spinning, a drive and kick. Sidnor, offensive rebound, goes right back up, takes a little bump and able to finish. Shot clock is off now. Johnson with 16 seconds, swatted away, but the follow is there by Smith. Sidnor, the big block. Credit Peyton Smith for following the play. 8 seconds left now. High energy to close out this first half. Sidnor way downtown, banks it in! Off the glass to close out this first half, and Manhattan back within one.
A big conversation in the game of basketball, and you know, each team every year is so new. It's almost like college coaches. Here's two coaches, and Coach Casey and Coach Gallagher have been doing it a long time. And they have to adjust their mindset to be more thinking like a prep school coach.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you have a different team every year.
Beautiful look to Sidnor, who's starting to get in gear now. Able to take that back door and put it home. And just that fast, Manhattan back in front, 38-37. The drive there from Bleachmore could not convert. Saved in bounds, and now here comes Manhattan. Jasper's getting back in the lead for the first time since near the midpoint of that first half. Bender now. Swish Gilliard. Shot clock to 7. Gilliard on the move, splits the D, and then is rebuffed. Big time block from Peyton Smith. And now in transition, Bergens floating, gets his own rebound. Second effort, does the job.
Well, we saw that a lot in the first half for Fairfield. Second chance opportunities. They did not shoot the ball well from the floor, only 33% in the first half. But plenty of second chance opportunities, which is what allowed them and some turnovers by Manhattan to build an early lead in that first half.
Bender. Triple try, not good. 15 second chance points, by the way, right now for Fairfield. Bleachmore steps into a three, too strong. And a whistle there. Good hustle from Prophet Johnson, and he's bumped by the Jaspers. That'll go against Bender. Off the inbound, Smith. Air ball. Fans here at Dratty letting him hear about it. Bender just lost control. Tried to go crossover, couldn't pull it all the way back.
Well, good to see Bender back on the floor. He had that little injury on the one turnover there late in the second half. Sometimes you wonder as a coach, one throws up an air ball and the next one a careless turnover. You don't know which one makes you lose your hair. I used to have both of them happen to me. That's why I'm bald.
Johnson. I don't have as good an excuse, Dave. So 39-38, Fairfield. Winston trying to turn that corner, but Sparks is right with him step for step. Sidnor just beyond the reach of Sec, and the Jaspers can regroup. Fairfield had won 2 of 3, then lost last time to Canisius. Step back here, Winston. And Barima Sec called his name quite a bit in the first half, snares his 5th rebound. Sparks left alone. And Gilliard crashing the glass.
Well, we finished the first half with a flurry.
Oh, Bender. There's a flurry to the hoop.
And it felt like the second half here, we were just getting a little slow, but maybe Bender picks things up.
We saw him back on the court. Good sign there to elevate to the basket. And Fairfield picking things up a little bit in their own right with the Braden Sparks connect. Junior out of Georgia, the transfer from Indian Hills Community College.
Well, the first half was a little bit of runs early to start the game, and then there at the end of the half as well. This game second half, a little back and forth.
Bender somehow navigating around Sek, changing to the left to go up and over the 6'11" big man. Bleachmore steps back. And his three-pointer isn't there. He had the good start, had 8 points right out of the gate, has not scored since then. Winston floating, and he'll draw the foul. Free throws on tap for Jaden Winston.
Yeah, Bleachmore had 8 early. Hasn't really scored since. Kyle Jenkins came in for him in the halfway through the first half, and he even dropped 7 of his own. Similar type players.
2 shots for Jaden Winston.
Manhattan now at the free throw line. Jaden Winston, the only player who plays a decent amount of minutes for Manhattan, double-digit minutes, is started. It's not averaging double figures.
Close, right there. 9.1 points per game. He's an All-MAC preseason pick, and out of DeMatha Catholic, one of the great high school powers in college basketball.
42.
Sparks, Sek, that's a problem. Easy money for Barima Sek on the dish.
Yeah, it's one of those you pick up a little bit, a little token pressure, a little too much token, a little too much pressure. Easy flush.
Jasper's close to a backcourt there. Sidnor bullying his way to the basket, and a whistle, and Gilliard immediately acknowledges that's on him.
Well, when you can handle the ball, you can handle the press, and you can dish, and this guy can dunk right in your living room. Got to tie one here. Come back and join us.
At Manhattan University, you'll develop industry-relevant skills supported by distinguished faculty in more than 100 fields of study. With mentorship from accomplished alumni who connect you to opportunity, you'll immerse yourself in the financial and cultural center of the world and build a life of purpose on our vibrant New York City campus in Riverdale. Discover who you're meant to be at Manhattan University.
Anchored in a region that stretches across vibrant cities and historic landscapes, our institutions are driven by a commitment to academic and athletic excellence. Our student athletes are not only champions through competition and in the classroom, they are lending a helping hand to build a better tomorrow. Join us in shaping a brighter future in the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference.
Welcome back to Manhattan University. Dave Calloway, Greg Meskel here with you. All even at 44. It has gone back and forth. 9 lead changes, 5 ties between these two. We showed you the standings earlier, right in the middle of the pack here in the MAC, trying to climb their way up as we work towards February. At what point in the year, and I know we talked earlier when we looked at standings, and you said, we're just worried about the games. If you're a coach, you're not really super concerned about the postseason just yet. When did you start to talk with your staff and say, hey guys, how are we looking for the end of the road here?
Yeah, I still think a little early. Right now, we just talked about both teams are 3 or 4, right? They're right in the thick of things in the MAC. In fact, the winner of this game probably moves them up into the upper echelon, meaning the top 5, 6 teams in the league. And that's only a 1-game difference anyway, right? You know, both these teams are fairly evenly matched. This game is about as even as it gets. Both teams with 17 field goals. Fairfield has 3 extra threes. Manhattan has 3 extra free throws, hence a tie game.
Here's Jamie Bergens from the Netherlands. Goes to work. And tough shot there, spinning into traffic and able to hit.
You know, Greg, we were talking at the break. The first half felt like the game of runs. You know, Fairfield started out with a 5-0 run. Manhattan made an 8-0 run. It was back in, you know, some runs throughout the half. Here, it's just been back and forth. Plays being made. There's another tough one by the freshman.
Will Sidnor, no points last time out. That had snapped a run of 9 straight double-figure games for him. Well, he's back. He's got 12 points now and 3 rebounds.
Hey, banked a 3 at the end of the half. There he uses the glass when he gets some body and contact.
Sek into deep. And they'll recirculate. Bleachmore on the drive and draws a foul.
Number 14, Wesley Robinson.
That'll go against Wes Robinson.
Personal foul, the Jaspers' 3rd team foul.
It's another area where Manhattan has to be so good. You talk about not being able to really deal with an injury at this point for Manhattan, but they also have to be really smart about their fouls.
Yeah, they can't afford someone in foul trouble. They got to be able to guard the ball, be able to absorb contact, not create the contact, create the foul. Coach Gallagher likes to stay man most of the time. We'll mix it up sometimes. I would imagine if he was in major foul trouble, would probably have to play some zone at times, but really feels like his team's much better playing man.
Bleachmore with his first points since the first half on those free throws, and then a foul on this end, reaching in there.
Foul is called on number 16, Prophet.
There's Coach Gallagher, longtime head man at Hartford, just veteran in the college game, and has brought his infectious energy here to the Bronx. Missed connection there on the backdoor look as Bender was uncut to the basket.
It is infectious, too. You know, there's something to be said for positive, you know, and he doesn't overdo the positive. You know, he looks at it, and there's lots of ways to look at things, right? You know, the glass half full, but there's a lot of merit to that. And, you know, today's young man sometimes comes into this world at this level, and they're constantly hearing what they want to hear. And at this level, you got to hear what you need to hear. And Coach Gallagher does an excellent job of doing that, but in a positive way to get the most out of his players.
Meanwhile, a little helter-skelter here. Johnson can't make the most of it. That 3 balls off the mark. Offensive rebound. Triple try over here. And that rattles in for Braden Sparks. So a broken play to say the least, and Sparks gives Fairfield a 51-46 lead. Blink and you miss it. They're back up by 5. Robinson right at Sek. That was off target. Johnson pushing ahead. Sek running the floor, spinning with the left. Wild shot. Johnson saves it. Back to Sparks, left alone. Good look there. Another offensive rebound. Sek grabs this one.
Well, Prophet Johnson, known for his scoring, leading scorer for the Stags. Credit him with, he won't get an offensive rebound there, kicking it out twice.
Bergens draws 3 and is stripped. The rip now. Bender full head of steam against Sparks. Bender just finishing there with the right as it dances around the rim and falls in. Sparks drive and kick, but we've got a whistle away from the basketball. Winston and Bergens in a collision. And Winston pleading his case.
Number 2, Jaden Winston. Winston's 2nd personal foul.
Well, Greg, I sit here and watch both coaches who I know well, and you know, Fairfield I just talked about, as we see Winston thinking that foul on me. I'm watching the coaches here. Coach Casey, last possession. You got Prophet Johnson all over the place. It creates 2 second opportunities. They get a second opportunity, a third opportunity. They end up turning it over and giving an easy layup. And you know, you did everything right except for take care of the ball at the end.
Those are the plays that'll drive coaches wild.
You know, especially Coach Casey, he talked about his team. He really likes his team. They work hard. They practice hard. He said they give him everything. They don't really give him anything back, any backlash. You know, he just They just got to start finishing off plays, and I kind of feel like this game is similar to their season when he talks about finishing off plays. This is a game they're right there. They got a 3-point lead. Can they finish this off the next 12 minutes on the road against a very good Manhattan team?
That three-pointer's too strong, and out of the packet, Swish Gilliard. Casey said we've never really had a bad practice from the sense of everyone wanting to be there and participate. Sure, not every shot goes down, but just couldn't say enough good things about this group. It's a new group. You mentioned trying to find leaders on this team. Here's the rip. Bergen stepping into a rhythm three, and he is too strong, but finishing, boxing out. It's Kyle Jenkins able to hit the transfer from Lafayette.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about, right, Greg, is stepping up as a leader. You know, who's going to step up now in this situation to try to finish off this game? You know, you're building up a lead. Manhattan doesn't seem like they'll go away. You know, can you build on this now and finish off plays, now finish off a game?
Gilliard off target. Plenty of time still in this one, coming up on the 11-minute mark. It's Johnson. Shot clock to 8 as Prophet Johnson goes to work. His opportunity fading. Difficult shot, and Prophet Johnson drills it.
And interesting, too, he's at his best when he can get into the rim. Manhattan's really playing off of him and challenging him to take the perimeter shot. He hit a 3 earlier in the first half, not his strength. There he steps inside. I'm going to get a foul on Prophet Johnson, as we just got done talking about how wonderful he is.
The old announcer jinx. They're happy to let him take that shot. Prophet Johnson knocking it down, but Manhattan drawing the foul on this end. We'll get back to it after the under-12 timeout here in the Bronx.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and get access to over 1,300 airport lounges. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Target made up and up for you, helping you save on hand soaps. With plant-derived ingredients and custom fragrances. With luscious foam to stir the senses. We made up and up for you, only at Target.
Touches of black. They say a lot without having to say much. They stand for elegance, refinement, and prestige. Even a little can go a long way. And though they're darker than the darkest night, they make you see everything in a new light. The Kia X-Line Nightfall Collection.
Kia, movement that inspires.
I thought weight loss was all about willpower.
Turns out, I just needed more options.
The new Weight Watchers, with access to prescription weight loss medication, one-on-one dietitian support, and our clinically proven points program. Join now at WeightWatchers.com.
Burger King has a deal for all. $5 duo answers hunger's call. $7 trio, more options for y'all. Which one will you choose? At BK, have it your way.
Looking to get stronger? This is your year. Join Planet Fitness today for just $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
We're gonna feel this tomorrow.
I'm doing it my way, on my time.
We're just gonna keep showing up. Showing up.
Showing up. You coming?
Join the club today. Save $28 or more when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends January 31st. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
Well, Greg, the Prophet for the Fairfield Stags. His first basket of the second half. He leads Fairfield with 11 points. But I feel like this second half here, he does a little bit of everything. We look at it there. He rebounds the ball. Only at 6'3", fourth in the MAC in rebounding, one of the top rebounders on the offensive glass. He leads the league in points and on the glass as well. He leads the team, I should say.
And we love good wordplay here. Props to our producer, Joe Ruggiero. Prophecy fulfilled. Well done. As we see Johnson and the Stags. Back to it here. 55-48. Jaspers, the give to Dinkins. Lines up that three. And then Robinson holding position and drawing a foul.
And that was a baseline out of bounds play set up for that three. It was right there. Good call by Coach Gallagher there. They just come up empty, but able to get the foul, get a second possession.
Now here's Winston looking into Sydnor. Great ball movement. Ends with a triple. Wes Robinson out of the corner on the kick out after Sydnor flashed free.
Well, earlier, Greg, we talked about the three-pointer so much effective in transition. The second time off of offensive rebounds and kickouts. Your shoulders are square. Easy knockdown for the big fella.
Get a violation here against the Jaspers.
Well, the kick out. The big freshman out to Wesley Robinson. He calmly drains it down.
Back to live action and another three-pointer. This time from Dion Perry. Well, credit Fairfield. They have stuck with the three-point game plan and paying off here. Now their 7th make from long range. I should make that their 9th overall. But the Jaspers get one back.
Well, this has been a back-and-forth second half. Fairfield just getting a little bit better than the Jaspers.
Bergens. From behind, they almost had that steal. Instead, back to Bergens now. Shot clock to 2. Bergens out of the corner. Manhattan able to save that. Good hustle there. Winston into the cheerleaders, made sure they were okay, and then returned to the court.
What was missed a little bit right even before that is on the ball screen switch earlier. The 6-foot Winston was guarding the 6'11 Sec and had to box him out there as well, which is why the rebound went loose and able to track that down. That's not one that'll stand out in the stat, but a great hustle play, just great work by Jaden Winston.
Probably something that will draw him some props on the film review at practice.
We talked about Coach Gallagher being positive. He will pick that one out and credit the 6-footer.
Under 9 to go, second half. Manhattan back to within 5. They took the lead earlier in this second half. Trying to work their way back once again. Crossover here to the basket and just battling through the defense. It's Sydnor.
At 6'8", that's a really good move. At 6'8" and a freshman, that's a terrific move. He is comfortable with the ball, and he can just flat out play. He can shoot the 3. He can get to the basket. He has a couple of assists. Heck, the banks are even open for this guy on Thursday nights.
He can really do it all. We talked about the run of double-doubles, had 2 of those before scoreless last game, and now a chance on the break to drop the hammer. He's heating up here in this second half. And it's a 1-point game.
Well, we just got done praising the young man for a nice, tough move. How about we play some D too, Greg? Let's get it out. Let's get the flush. Woo! Manhattan, come back and join us.
Rain, make it rain, girl, make it.
Apartment 2B?
2B. She's definitely using that Grubhub deal from Amazon.
Oh, yeah.
Amazon Prime member, you can get $0 delivery fees on Grubhub. Eligible orders only. Terms and additional fees apply.
Touches of black. They say a lot without having to say much. They stand for elegance, refinement, and prestige. Even a little can go a long way. And though they're darker than the darkest night, they make you see everything in a new light. The Kia X-Line Nightfall Collection.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Burger King has a deal for all. $5 duo answers hunger's call. $7 trio, more options for y'all. Which one will you choose? At BK, have it your way.
Looking to get stronger? This is your year. Join Planet Fitness today for just $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
We're gonna feel this tomorrow.
I'm doing it my way, on my time.
We're just gonna keep showing up. Showing up.
Showing up. You coming?
Join the club today. Save $28 or more when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends January 31st. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
So a technical foul handed out right as we were going to timeout. Let's take a look back here, Coach. After the big dunk, you'll see John Gallagher up near midcourt. And then there's a foul called. So pointing seemingly across the court. And whatever transpired, he is about to get teed up right there.
Yeah, Rob Riley hits him up with the tee. I think Coach Gallagher was just all fired up. We were all fired up watching Will Sidner go off, get the steal. He made the play on the one end, and the steal, and the run out, and the dunk. I thought maybe at first he thought that maybe Sidner got hit from below. He didn't have a great angle. Really, Sidner was just off balance. But I got a feeling it was something else. Not quite sure. We got Coach Gallagher all fired up, but I'd be fired up watching Will Sidner play.
Yeah, that's a big energy moment for the Jaspers to get them back within one. Again, they led about 4 minutes into this second half, 44-42. Once again, chasing the game. Here are the technical free throws. And Dion Perry good on the first. He'll get another. And in a tight game like this, big moment here. Good on both. And then Fairfield basketball as well. So they go back ahead 3. So getting some further clarification on that tee. Sounds like the refs had just maybe heard enough. Off the screen here. Deep 3-ball. That bank continues to be open, Davis. This end of the court, the ATM machine, the lobby, it's all open if you want to come in and do some banking services.
Yeah, not sure if either one of those Will Sidner in the first half and if Dion Perry called those banks, but either way, they'll take them.
63-57.
Well, this coming off the 2 made free throws on the technicals. Dion Perry says, let me add to that. Downtown, deep, off the glass.
7:34 to go now in the game. 63-57. Perry cashing in. He's got 13. And is the new high man on offense here for Fairfield. Dinkins, step back 3. Sidnor battling and draws a foul as Sek tried to come back for that basketball.
Well, Manhattan just showing their will there. Some athleticism on top of it kind of helps. In particular, Sidner with that rebound going up high.
Showing their will, Sidner. And now after a first half that was light on free throws, both teams now at the bonus. And so into the 1-and-1 now. 7th team foul there on Fairfield. Good on the first.
And Manhattan, a very good free throw shooting team. They're big men, very comfortable facing the basket. They can step out. They have range to 3. What more can we say about this young fellow and Will Sidnor just doing a little bit of everything right now. I think that 0 for the other night was obviously a rare thing, and he put that to rest.
Bringing his team back now, 63-59. They've got Rogan back on. And then Smith a tie-up as he was going to work against Gilliard, had the height advantage there.
And that was off a ball screen switch earlier. So Gilliard gets stuck with the bigger Smith. And now Smith will go to the free throw line. He's an excellent free throw shooter at 6'10", shooting at 81% from the free throw line.
Sophomore had 22 starts a year ago and rattles that one in. Also a big moment for him earlier this season. Tip in to defeat Ryder earlier in the year. And knocks down both free throws. So can the Jaspers put another run together but then match it on the defensive end? Fairfield has had a response. The race to 70 closing in here. Fairfield 5 away. Little baseline jump is all good for Wes Robinson. He's got 18 and one board away from a double-double.
Well, Manhattan running the weave to perfection and tied up with a little ball screen and a dish and an easy deuce.
One stat to note, Swish Gilliard not getting on track offensively. Just 1 point tonight. He's 0 for 5. But other guys filling in the gaps here. Smith, too strong on the hook. Here comes Winston, a blur, floating, but Smith rejects it. Good recovery there.
Fairfield's number 16, Prophet Johnson, replaced number 25, Michael Rubin, and the Jaspers number 1.
Well, good take. It's pretty good D by the big fella.
Robinson wasting no time. They like that inbound three-point attempt. And he's off the mark there.
Yeah, Manhattan looks to shoot a lot of threes, especially off a baseline out of bounds, set type plays.
Jenkins, pump and go. Draws the foul and he'll head to the line. That's the 9th team foul on Manhattan. So we are headed towards a free throw fest here with both teams approaching the double bonus.
Number 10, Swish Gilliard, replaced number 2, Jaden Winston.
Gilliard returning for Winston.
Kyle Jenkins.
Well, Jenkins subbed in the first half, played a lot of minutes, scored 7 points when he subbed in for Bleachmore in the first half. He's very effective.
Now the 4th Fairfield player in a double figures, so he's got 11 with that second free throw. Johnson also 11, Bleachmore 10, Perry with 13.
Basically Jenkins and Bleachmore teaming up for 21 points at that position.
Bender spinning, the drop to Gilliard, the shovel to Robinson. It all leads to this. Hitting from the outside, Sidnor pays homage to the right hand that knocked that down.
Great ball movement by Manhattan Jaspers, and they will not go away, so you shouldn't either. Come back and join us.
At Manhattan University, you'll develop industry-relevant skills supported by distinguished faculty in more than 100 fields of study. With mentorship from accomplished alumni who connect you to opportunity, you'll immerse yourself in the financial and cultural center of the world and build a life of purpose on our vibrant New York City campus in Riverdale. Discover who you're meant to be at Manhattan University.
Jersey Mike's freshly slices it right in front of you. The authentic Jersey way. You can't fake that. And look, you can fake a lot of stuff these days. You can fake my outfit, but you can't fake freshly sliced turkey. You can fake these haunches, but you can't fake freshly sizzled bacon. Nay, you just can't fake a freshly sliced Jersey sub. It's nice to be back in my real body. Number 13, please. Made the authentic Jersey way since 1956. It's a Jersey Mike's thing, a sub above.
This is a story about strength. It wakes up early in the morning, stays up late, moves mountains, and travels the world. It makes adventure and hard work possible. Strength delivers food to tables, packages to doorsteps, products to stores, and kids to practice. It shows up everywhere you show up. Hercules tires are built for almost every driver and every vehicle. Find the right Hercules for your story and let our strength drive yours.
Well, great ball movement here. Cutting, moving. Got a lot of defenders around me. Let me kick it out to the big freshman. Will Sidnor leading all scorers with 21. You leave him open out there like that, that's a layup.
We talked to John Gallagher pregame, and he said, Dave, just wait till you see this guy. You're going to be impressed. Your thoughts from what you've seen through, 30 minutes of basketball?
Well, I'm surprised he's only Rookie of the Week 3 times, to be honest with you. I think we're looking at Rookie of the Year right now. This guy can just flat out play. Also 11th in the MAC and 3-point field goal percentage at 6'8". But we saw some other play, too. He can pass it a little bit. He had that steal and the dunk. Doing it all, the big fella.
21 points, 5 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals. Throw a block in there as well. And the Jaspers within 3. 5:24 to play, second half. Manhattan coming off of a win last weekend over at Niagara. Trying to string together a couple here. That 3 rattles in and out, loose ball, and it's Dinkins coming up with it. John Gallagher raving about Dinkins, said he's carried us. When you talk about the way this group of 6 to 7 guys, this rotation is gelled, he really pointed to Dinkins. Sidnor wants more, front rim. Gilliard skying for that rebound, and it's last touch off of the Jaspers.
Yeah, and that one I felt like might have been a little bit rushed by Sidnor. Obviously feeling it. It was a little deeper off the 3-point line. Might have rushed it. That's a little bit of inexperience.
Still a 3-point game.
Fairfield doing a little bit of weave of their own. That'll set up their offense.
Here's Johnson. Thought he missed something on the baseline. Instead, this happens. Corner 3 for Sparks. And the long rebound right back out to Sparks. And now they can work to Bergens. Sparks here with the handles. Looking for some help there. Shot clock to 9. Bergens, step back, long 3. Fairfield at about 30% on the night. They've had some big-time triples, however, as we fall under 4 minutes to go here in regulation. Bender takes a look. He'll put his head down, flip it up high off the glass.
And able to avoid the offensive foul, too. Sparks stepped in to try to take the charge, and Bender able to avoid it in a tough finish.
Flips that one up off the glass. 1-point game. Prophet Johnson down low off the window.
Well, you got to love the play of your top player stepping up. Fairfield came up empty a couple possessions. Manhattan scores. Fairfield wants to come back and score, and Prophet Johnson takes it to the basket. Now Fairfield playing a little zone.
Dangerous pass there, and Johnson with the takeaway. And now 13 turnovers for Manhattan.
Yeah, and that zone might have messed up Manhattan a little bit. They got a little sloppy with the ball, as you said, and they turn it over. See if Fairfield can capitalize.
Under 3 now. Johnson against Gilliard, the pull-up, front rim. That's the shot that they are content with him taking. They want to keep him away from the basket. Mission accomplished there.
Fairfield's going to stay with the zone. They have a 3-point lead.
Dinkins thought about a long triple. Bender lets fly, just rattling out. Gilliard the rebound, draws the foul, and free throws coming for Swish Gilliard. 2:27 to play here in the game. Swish Gilliard headed to the free throw line with his squad down 3. We're back after this timeout.
Any questions?
How did you become the Capital One Bank guy?
I've always been passionate about no fees or minimums on checking accounts.
Aren't you in the Hall of Fame?
And didn't you live in space?
What's in your wallet?
Target made Up and Up for you, helping you save on storage solutions with bags in all shapes and sizes. So everything has a home. Everyday favorites at unbeatable prices. We made Up and Up for you, only at Target.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to drive smarter. With high-tech features and excellent reliability. From the Kelley Blue Book Best Value brand. Right now, you can get a $289 per month lease on a 2025 HR-V all-wheel drive Sport.
For weight loss made to last, start with what's new at Weight Watchers. Now with access to GLP-1s and registered dietitians, plus 150 new zero-point foods. For your best results ever, sign up now at WeightWatchers.com.
Burger King has a deal for all. $5 duo answers hunger's call. $7 trio, more options for y'all. Which one will you choose? At BK, have it your way.
Your life is pretty smart. But when it's time to eat, suddenly you feel out of sync. Refresh your routine with Factor. Chef-prepared meals delivered with a tap, ready in 2 minutes. Imagine dinner on autopilot and enjoying Tuscan tomato chicken without lifting a finger. Upgrade your plate. Optimize your nutrition. Eat smart with Factor.
Tonight's game is sponsored by Hercules Tires. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength. And by Jersey Mike's, proud supporter of Max Sports. Jersey Mike's, a sub above. And by SoldOut.com, the official ticket resale marketplace for the Mac. And now, let's take a look back at just a tough move. Look at this, the freshman, Will Sidnor, just battling down low, and that's our Hercules Tires strong move of the game. He has been a strong move from the jump here, Dave.
6'8", battling 6'11". You know, he banked that three at the end of the half there. He just uses the muscles in that strong move at 6'8", 210-pound frame, and uses the glass nice and soft there. Nice finish.
2:27 left here in the match as Gilliard comes up short. That was a 1-and-1. That was just the 8th team foul on Fairfield.
And Gilliard struggling putting the ball in the basket tonight, doing a little bit of everything else. 10 rebounds, defending, doing a pretty good job on Prophet Johnson. Unable to put the ball in the basket.
Double teaming the basketball there. They move it around here. Johnson gets a bit of a lane, has it knocked away. Shot clock to 6. It's back to Sparks. Sparks, crossover, pull up, 3 ball. That's good! Oh, big time triple from Braden Sparks.
Well, we talked about Coach Casey before the game and throughout this game. Can Fairfield finish off possessions? He's talked about it on the defensive end. They were able to get some stops, and there they score with the shot clock running down. Now can they finish off this game?
Bender answering from 3. Back to a 3-point game. Jasper's call for time, and a couple of giant shots here late, Dave.
Wow. Back and forth. We're sitting here saying Fairfield goes up 6. You figure with the shot clock running down, that could be a dagger for the Manhattan Jaspers. But you know what? Who steps up? Shaq Bender again, the senior. Let's take a first look right here. That's with 2 seconds on the shot clock. And then the senior, Bender, did it in the first half when Manhattan was struggling to put it in the basket. He was the one that stepped up and made plays. And there, a big 3 for the senior.
Bender now with 18. He has a couple of 3-pointers. Manhattan nearing 3 guys with 20. They've got Sidnor with 21, Robinson and Bender with 18. And they knocked down their 7th 3-pointer to climb back within 3 with about 90 seconds left. And so Fairfield the first to 70 for whatever that means. This is where MAC basketball lives typically. Both coaches highlighted it. There's no off nights in this league. You have got to bring your best game every time out. Every game is a dogfight here. This game epitomizes that.
Well, interesting. We said the first team to 70 would win. Fairfield has that advantage, but still a little over 90 seconds to go. Plenty of time. This thing could get to 80.
Inbounding now against some pressure. They break it very quickly. Sparks, the floater, comes up short. He thought twice. A little indecision there about passing or taking it himself. Floater coming up short, and now here comes Manhattan. A full court press sped up Fairfield as well. They had time to operate. 1:17 remaining. Dinkins now. Winston. The kick. Robinson. Shot clock to 8. Driving kick. Dinkins for the tie. Oh, he's fouled. Fouled on a 3. Devin Dinkins. 3 giant free throws on tap.
And an excellent free throw shooter at 82%. You know, earlier, Manhattan, Gilliard missed the front end of a one-on-one. But here, the kick out, the 3. Ooh, little acting job there maybe, but they'll take it.
Wants to get those free throws up quick. First one on the way.
Well, there's no replay there where they go back and can change
that. If this
that
is the
one.
NBA, they'd be taking another look. Dinkins good on the first, good on the second. And he's got one more to knot this one up with 1:06 to play. Dinkins for the tie. All good.
You know, interesting, Chris Casey has a decision to make here. He has 3 timeouts. You have an opportunity to design a 2-for-1 here with a tie game. Basically double up your possessions on Manhattan to give you a second chance. Coach Gallagher's going to pick up some pressure. Or they might have had, they had Sparks long.
All tied at 72. The deep ball not there, and now Fairfield will go to work in the half court. Sparks has been clutch. They run their weave. Profit, the pull-up, off the side rim, rebound controlled by Manhattan. Down to one knee, almost giving it away. Loose ball. Officials take a look. They're not sure who saw it.
Well, they're gonna, no matter what, they're going to take a look at this on the video. It's under 2 minutes. The problem is they have to make a call first and then decide whether they're going to overturn it. It looks like they're going to make the call.
They made the call that it is Fairfield basketball, and now they will take a look.
On the floor is Fairfield.
From that angle, hard to tell. Does Johnson get a piece of it? But Sidnor was right there. Of course, the entire Fairfield bench, we know their feelings.
Yeah, it's interesting. I believe the official that was all the way down by the Manhattan bench is the one that ended up making that call. And from his view, he would have been blocked by Sidnor. It looked from the quick angle, and we'll see if we get a better look at it, that Prophet Johnson knocked it out. The key is there has to be enough evidence to overturn it, right? So that's why it was so important which way they called it the first time, because this looks like, just from that, if that's the only angle, that might be tough to overcall.
Take another look here. This angle might give us something else to work with.
Just credit Prophet Johnson. Look at this. Look at this effort. A lot of legs in the way here. We're going to look in between about 6 legs. And
the right side of your screen.
There's right there. It's off of Sidnor's lead. Now right here, it's Sidnor's hand. Now that's right there. Last touches. It looks like Johnson. It's a long angle, but that definitely looks like that's last touch by Johnson right there.
I think you're
now
right.
Does Sidnor get it?
Or does he get a fingertip on that?
Wow.
That's hard to tell.
Woo! And we're in New York. They're not going to take this one to New York. I feel like it's NFL playoff time. So that's going to be a tough one to overturn.
Yeah, this is that thing too, right? Where is it enough evidence, as you suggested, to be completely sure that you can reverse the call? The call as it was made on the court was last touch Manhattan.
It's amazing. It's gone off, and right here, there's so much little interaction right here. This is where it really starts now.
Yeah.
Prophet Johnson definitely hits it here. Now it's just a matter of, does Sidnor touch it? Does that ball change rotation?
And we won't know from that angle because Prophet Johnson's head is in the way.
Yeah. This is going to be a tough one for the officials. And a big call. You got a tie game. This game has been as evenly matched as possible. Whoever gets this possession, you know, it's got a chance to take the lead. Either way, the other team will have an opportunity to get a possession as well. Let's take one more look from this angle. Between all the trees' legs.
Pure hustle there from Prophet Johnson.
Right here, definitely touches Prophet Johnson. And does Sidnor touch it here?
That you can't tell. Is his ball just behind? Is his hand just behind the ball, or is he touching the ball?
Right there, also might have touched it. Right, yeah, right here, I think. Wow. Well, I'm going to go out on a limb here. Greg, I have a feeling you cannot make that overturn. It's not enough evidence to overturn it. It might be off of Sidnor there anyway.
I was thinking the same thing. I think they'll be hard-pressed to look at all of this and say something conclusively one way or another.
I think you're going to look at Fairfield ball. If you're Fairfield, the interesting thing, you have 12 seconds to maybe try to get off the shot to create a 2-for-1 opportunity. But the last thing you want to do is rush it. You know, it's more important to score than to get off a quick shot, just to get a second possession. So we wait for the officials here.
This is what you would call a lengthy review, and it's a tough one. I do not envy these three men. Trying to figure this one out.
Well, the official on the right, Rob Riley, I believe was the official down by the Manhattan bench and made the call. And my gut is he would have made that call based on the end there. He would have had a view of when we see Sidnor touch it at the end, is the view he would have called from. So from his, even though it was a lengthy view, same lengthy view we've been looking at it on the one angle. We've got another angle here at it. Does that ball change rotation?
Hard to tell.
Really hard to tell.
I think they've made their decision.
And it looks like it will be Fairfield ball. Be interested to find out afterwards, was it not conclusive enough, or they really did determine that it went off of Will Sidnor? Either way, Fairfield ball. They got and also they have a 14-second differential on the shot clock.
So Stags inbound after that delay. Long review and confirmed they stick with the call on the floor. Fairfield basketball, last touch Manhattan. Shot clock to 10 now for the Stags. Here's Bergens. Sparks. Can't hit. Loose ball. This one's clear. Last touch Prophet Johnson. Shot clock is off. Manhattan will have it with 26 seconds left and an opportunity to win this ball game.
Well, that was a called play. That's exactly what Fairfield was looking for. They wanted to go to Braden Sparks. He comes up empty. Prophet Johnson could not come up with the rebound. Manhattan's got a chance to win this one.
Jaspers have one timeout left. 16 seconds left as they go to work here. Shot clock is off. Dinkins controlling. 10 seconds left now. Sidnor. Sidnor controlling with 5, with 4, 3. Bender pulling up from 3. Off the rim, no good. And we head to overtime here in the Bronx. They ran it down. Bleachmore and Sidnor to get us started in overtime. Manhattan with a couple of OT games already this year, a win over Presbyterian and then a 2 overtime loss to Siena, 103-95.
And that obviously a league game.
To start things off, that's Bender firing again. Could not convert. Opening moments in overtime here. Looking for Jenkins now. He'll go to work on Sidnor. Gets great position on the inside and is able to convert with the left.
Well, interesting, Jenkins subbed in for Bleachmore in the first half, but now they're playing together here in overtime. And Jenkins goes down low and gets the first 2 points of overtime for the Stags.
Off the glass, nothing there for Devin Dinkins. Sparks now. We'll go back to Jenkins. And they'll call a kick against Manhattan.
Well, Fairfield early on has definitely decided they're going to go to Kyle Jenkins. That looks like their best back to the basket player. If he gets fouled, he's going to shoot 2 the rest of the way.
Yeah, both teams are over the limit here, sitting at 9 team fouls apiece. Off the inbound, that's Sparks, his 4th three-pointer.
Well, Fairfield runs so many great sideline out-of-bounds plays for threes. They also run some great baseline out-of-bounds plays, and that was a huge one.
And now a 5-point lead here in overtime. That's long, and Sparks with a rebound, and then draws a foul, and free throws coming now for Sparks.
You know, interesting here, Greg, to start this overtime, Manhattan comes up with a couple empty possessions, and when you have so many different players that can score, you get to overtime like this, you want to make sure you get the best look. And when you fall behind by a couple, really good players, tough-minded, want to come up and make a big shot, but sometimes they take a tough shot as opposed to getting the best shot. And Manhattan in danger here, going down 7 early in this overtime.
Down 6 now as Sparks hits the first.
Devin Dinkins replaced Swish Gilliard
from Indian Hills Community College, previously at Mercer in his freshman year. And good on both free throws, and has quickly enhanced this lead for Fairfield now, 79-72. The first OT game of the year for the Stags, and in command right now. Robinson, he was fouled on the way through, so free throws coming for Robinson. Fairfield, meanwhile, with Sparks' work now 5 in double figures. Sparks has 13.
Well, the first half was the game of runs. The second half seemed a little bit back and forth. We'll see if this overtime is a game of runs. Fairfield started the game on a 5-0 run. Manhattan went on an 8-0 run to take the lead.
First free throws of the night for Robinson, and nails the first. Jaspers had the basketball. Final seconds of regulation. Bender long in the three-pointer, and now here into overtime. And Manhattan chasing the game for a large part of this contest. They worked their way back in to force OT. Now down 5 here after Robinson is good on both free throws.
Yeah, you feel like you tie it up. Now you're playing and you're able to start out, and sometimes you lose that little bit of intensity of playing catch-up and you let up a little bit, and Fairfield's taking advantage early on in this overtime.
Jenkins again, he has just gotten such good position right on the block there, and again puts one home.
There has not been a lot of back-to-the-basket moves in this game by either team. In fact, Kyle Jenkins really the only one, and he's delivered the last couple possessions for the Stags.
Jenkins takes the bump, and he'll get some free throws. So Devin Dinkins.
Number 12, Louis Bleachmore.
That'll go against Bleachmore. That'll be the 4th on Bleachmore. 2 Jaspers with 4. Gilliard and Winston both carrying 4 fouls right now. So that's a big stat, as that's 2 of the 6 main guys out there. Dinkins good on the first.
Dinkins an excellent free throw shooter, 82%. He got fouled shooting the 3 down 3. Was able to tie it up. In fact, were the last points of the regulation. It'll be interesting. Manhattan picked up full court after the free throws last time. See what they do here. They're going to do the same. Trailing by 5. Still plenty of time.
Able to elude that pressure for the moment. Almost a giveaway. And now Fairfield can regroup. Coming up on 2:15 to play in overtime.
Can Fairfield finish possessions? Big concern of Coach Casey throughout the year before this game. They've done it so far this game in the defensive end. They've hit some big possessions with the shot clock running down, but they come up empty there.
And that's what Manhattan wants. Prophet Johnson taking the shot far from the basket. Now Dinkins. Drive and kick here. Floater on the way, and that's all good for Jaden Winston. And Manhattan is back within 3, and John Gallagher will take a timeout with 1:43 to play.
Well, Fairfield starts off the overtime with a 7-0 run. And Manhattan just methodically gets a couple stops, gets to the free throw line to see the ball go in the basket. And there Jaden Winston able to get into the lane. A nice little teardrop.
Here's what's next for Fairfield. They've got Merrimack back at home, and then on the road again, Quinnipiac, Iona, before they're back home for a couple. So we're into nothing but MAC play for the Jaspers. Here's what they've got. They'll go to the Mount, down to Emmitsburg. Been to that gym a time or two. Iona, and then at Sacred Heart before they're back home for St. Peter's and Merrimack as well. Of course, all of those games available right here on ESPN+.
Mount, St. Mary's, Manhattan's next game. Coming over from the NEC. And one of the top tier teams in the MAC this year. Always a great place to play.
Yeah. Not Arena.
Place that Jim Fallon, but Mr. Bowtie built.
Sir. Pressure here in the backcourt. Bergens advancing. Jaspers swarming the basketball. 90 seconds to go in overtime. Johnson. Here's Bleachmore now. Draws a double, coming over to help Bender the takeaway. Excellent defense. Manhattan has it back with a chance to tie. 1:10 to play. Here's Dinkins. Dinkins put it on the floor and a foul at the last second. Oh, Coach Casey can't believe it. Free throws coming here for Devin Dinkins. He thought his guys had the strip and go.
He gets in the lane. Dinkins a little out of control. And you have the reach in by Bergens. The official thinks he got more skin than leather. Coach Casey doesn't agree.
Oh, Fairfield fans would say ball don't lie. Dinkins so good from the free throw line, but that one rims out.
It is interesting how that works out. But still, big free throw here. Make it a 2-point game.
Does exactly that.
You know, Manhattan's picked up pressure. They haven't turned Fairfield over, but they have made them struggle a little bit. Kind of just get out of their rhythm, because Fairfield breaks it and then they kick it back out. That's what they'll do again. And Coach Casey's going to talk this one over with his squad. I like this time out here. He's talked about his team finishing off plays, finishing off possessions. Let's chalk this one over. We can get a 2-for-1 possession with a 2-point lead. Make sure we get a good quality shot.
And Fairfield had a ton of timeouts, 4. They've got 3 left, so certainly an opportunity to use one here, try and settle things down with 53.5 seconds remaining. This is the challenge so often, right, with a new mix of guys finishing games and how to find ways to be good at the very end.
Yeah, you know, and it's interesting, right, because he talked about he's looking to figure out who's real leader on this team. Who's going to be the guy to step up? Who's going to be the guy that wants to take this shot? You know, and often when you're trying to figure that out, you have a new team, a lot of new people. We talked about the turnover. Sometimes you have to determine that, you know, and you make that timeout, you make that call, and let's draw this up. And I wouldn't be surprised if this guy taking the ball out, Prophet Johnson, it somehow ends up back in his hands.
Such a dynamic scorer. Struggled a bit with the shot tonight, 6 of 15. But another double-double, 13 points, 11 boards, and 3 steals. Perry now controls. Braden Sparks has also been good for a clutch bucket here tonight. Facing a double. Oh, they almost had it there. Instead to Bergens for 3. Big-time triple! Bergens from the corner. Oh, that's huge.
And Coach Casey will get another timeout with the big 3, a 5-point lead. This allows him to set up his defense. And how about this, Greg? Loose play, it goes to the lefty. Been off a little bit tonight, but not when it matters. Right in front of his bench. Downtown 3.
Bergens 4 for 13, just 2 for 8 from beyond the arc, but makes it when it matters most.
There's almost a steal. He gets out of it. That's well contested too by Bender, but just not enough. And the graduate student outlasts the senior.
2 seasons at Drexel, average around 5 points a game. He's stepped it up with Fairfield now in this graduate season, 9.3 points per game, and he's the latest guy in the double figures. So now 6 in double figures for Fairfield. 37 seconds left. Jasper's looking to go 2 for 1 here. Here's the drive, the kick. Dinkins, corner 3, all good! Dinkins responding. It's a 2-point game. Jasper's now with the pressure, looking for a takeaway.
And they do not technically have to foul. There's not going to be much time to get a shot, so they're probably going to foul.
And they do. And Dinkins thought he had the takeaway, as did Winston.
They're going to foul Sparks, who's a 76% free throw shooter.
Winston, 5 fouls.
And Winston's going to foul out.
And that is all for Winston.
Well, big 3 by Fairfield, and Bergens hits it to put up a 5-point lead. And how about Dinkins comes right back down and hits one to make it a 1-possession game here.
2 shots for number 4.
Sparks is going to shoot 2, and Manhattan only needs him to miss 1. And even if he doesn't, there's still plenty of time.
First one, rims out.
You know, interesting now, with the missed free throw and 22 seconds, even if he's to knock this one down, Manhattan does not have to settle for a 3. There's plenty of time. It's just really they need a quick score.
Good on the second. 3-point game.
Number 25.
22.6 seconds remaining. Manhattan down 3, 85-82. They'll roll the basketball here to conserve some time. And now Dinkins. Dinkins on the drive to the hoop, floater, and a whistle. And more free throws coming for Manhattan. So they elect to go for the 2-pointer, extend this game out a bit.
Dinkins does a great job of drawing contact as well, unable to finish. So he could have had a 3-point play the old-fashioned way, but gets in the lane here. He draws the contact, actually, but gets the call. And he'll end up, if he can knock these 2 down, you have a 1-possession game with the foul. You can play the foul game, extend this game, try to get a turnover, 16 seconds. Enough time to maybe try to get 1 trap and a turnover. If not, you foul. Fairfield just missed a free throw. If it's in Sparks' hand, maybe hit him. He just missed one.
Do you like aiming for the tie there, extending the game? Did you have a philosophy on that?
You're, at this point in time, usually when you're down, can we get it to another overtime? You know, so just pick up a point at a possession here or there. There's 16 seconds, plenty of time. It's 1 possession. You always have a chance at a 3 later on. Right now, it's get a stop, get a steal. Hope they miss a free throw. Foul here. Got a foul.
Into the front court now, looking for a strip, close to a takeaway. And they'll say last touch, and they're going to review. Jaspers were confident that this was off of Fairfield as they tried to force the takeaway. Officials did signal for review.
And I was actually calling for a foul, but actually Bender might have had the opportunity at a steal. This happened right in front of us. table was kind of in the way, so I didn't get a great angle, but we're going to get a better angle from the camera here.
Bender from behind here to try and
Number
tip
14,
it away.
Wesley Robinson in the Jaspers lineup. And play resumes.
That's off of Bender's leg there. And then did it catch Bergen's finger? Similar to the last play where it actually ended up hitting Will Sidnor's finger. Does it hit Bergen's finger here? And once again, I have a feeling this one might be a tough overturn.
Seems to get a lot of Bender's leg.
Yeah, definitely Bender's leg right there. Now, right here, does it hit Bergen's finger? Right here. That's Bender's hand. Now here comes Bergen's hand. Does he touch it?
I don't think so.
Nah, he doesn't get it. That's going to be Fairfield ball.
So this presumably won't be as long a review as last time, but a big moment as well. 11.2 seconds left. 85-84. Jasper's in a place where, again, they'll be looking for a steal, and then if not, fouling.
Yeah, you're tight on this one. You gave up 5 seconds there, did not get anything. So now time is a little bit of concern. Obviously, if you get a 5-second call, you know, a deflection. If not, I think you look to foul immediately. You have plenty of time to go down. Even if Fairfield would have hit both, you have a chance for a 3. Boy, Bender really had an opportunity to steal it there. Bergens had no idea he was behind him. I think Bender almost seemed surprised that he had the opportunity to steal. He was probably thinking foul like I was. Then he's like, oh my God, I might be able to steal this thing.
And he had help right there. If he'd gotten a little tip away, there were 2 teammates right nearby to try and take that one and go. Officials confirm it is Fairfield basketball. They add a little time back, 11.7 seconds left. So they'll inbound right in front of us here. Shot clock is off. Any foul, 2 free throws coming. Jaspers will aim for the steal and then presumably foul. Rogan inbounding. Into the backcourt, dangerous inbound. Johnson comes up with it, and now they'll foul Prophet Johnson. Gilliard inches away from taking that basketball.
Well, they get the foul. Prophet Johnson, a 75% free throw shooter.
2 shots for number
has not been to the free throw line tonight. Sparks, a decent free throw shooter at 76%. His first time at the free throw line. He missed the first one.
8.9 to play. Johnson with 2. Calm, cool, collected. Drills the first.
Well, plenty of time here. Coach Gallagher, I would imagine, has a play set up for a 3 with 8 seconds here. You can try to get a quick one, but you now are getting tight on your time on another possession. And if you can get a 3, you're going to try to set up one of your better plays. You're going to come down in transition. Be interesting to see also, does Fairfield decide to foul?
7 seconds left. Jasper's down 3, and John Gallagher will take a timeout. So they get into the front court and now can work with around 6 seconds to try and tie this basketball game up. Again, Fairfield knows if they foul, 2 free throws, automatic. I think Gallagher wanted a timeout sooner.
Yeah, 6 seconds, still plenty of time. The key will be, and I think he wanted enough time, maybe on the back of his mind, he's even thinking, you know, less time, Fairfield then may decide to foul. You know, right now 6 seconds is a lot of time, a lot of things can happen where it's a little too early to foul anyway. I'm sure this is some sort of discussion Coach Casey's having with his team.
Defensively, how did you play it in these scenarios?
Well, I learned the lesson the hard way. We tried to foul once. We were up 3. We ended up fouling. They made the first two, missed the third, and went out of bounds off of us. They inbounded and scored and won. We didn't even go to overtime. We lost the game. So from that point on, I learned the hard way to play. Let's play to try to stop them. Our theory is if they do hit a three, we're going to continue playing in overtime. You know, but let's try to guard that three. But it's a philosophy.
But if you foul, like, too many things could go wrong.
There's so many factors.
Yeah.
You still got to get a rebound. You still got to, you know, how much time did they foul? Do they somehow foul by mistake while he's pulling up for a three? So I do like the idea of trying to get a stop. You know, it is a damned if you do, a damned if you don't type thing. You know when it works out? If your team wins.
Exactly. Every time that occurs, you know you made the right call as a head coach. Jasper's back on the court. They're ready to roll. Let's see where they go. As far as Manhattan three-point shooters, Sid Norris knocked down 3, Robinson 2, but those were back in the first half. Bender, a couple. He had that one at the end of regulation that didn't go, and then Dinkins 1. Jasper's out of timeouts. And here we go. 6.2 left. In need of 3 points. The inbound. In trouble. They go to Bender. Bender now with 4. Bender 5. Bender 3. Step back. 3 ball. Off the mark. Tipped around. Fairfield will hang on. That's a final 87-84. Fairfield picks up the overtime win over the